Hey everybody, this is Bo Sanders. I'm the pastor here at Vermont Hills Church, and I'm very excited about what we have on tap for this weekend. Couple things. At 9:15 in the morning, we're starting a new Sunday school class. We call it brainstorming. But we're focusing on this book called The Church of Us versus Them. And if you want to see a preview of that, you can go to the website or the YouTube channel and find that. It's going to be a dynamic conversation that will take us through February, March, and April. It's going to be a 3-month engagement with this book. And each week I'll take a chapter of the book and put it in conversation with a different or a broader idea. It's going to be really good for us as we try and figure out as a church, how do we be a part of the solution and not contribute to the problem of us versus them? It's going to be a great conversation. I hope that you'll come and be a part of that. There's good coffee and tea, so even though it's early, I hope that you'll come. Then at 10:30, we meet in here for our worship gathering, and we're going through a series called Words Make Worlds. And this week, we're talking about the word God. And I have a theory that when people say God, they mean 5 different things, from a high level of commitment to a low level of commitment. And that word is sort of an empty container that people put meaning into. It's an interesting suitcase to unpack because there is so much going on in that word that it's actually worth taking apart and say, depending on what you mean, by this word, we live different ways. And so all the way from a supernatural being that intervenes in human affairs, all the way down to sort of just a language game where people talk about their greatest hopes and dreams and sort of project them onto the heavens. But there's an event. Anytime you say God, the conversation changes. It's a very powerful word. And we live up into our understanding of that word or concept. And so I want to talk about the 5 different levels of commitment that when people say God, you have to sort of decode it. And so we're going to decode it together. A couple other things that I'm excited about is the first week of the month is always communion for us. And we practice an open table, so everyone is welcome to come. But this month is going to be, I think, especially interesting because the symbolism of talking about God is going to inform communion. And I have a plan for that, and I hope that you will come and participate in that. We always sing at least 3 songs in a service. We sort of use songs to punctuate our gatherings together. We don't have a big block of music up at the front, so we have an opening song. We always have a middle song that we rotate depending on what week of the month it is. And then we have a closing song that sort of fits the theme. And this week, obviously, with the theme being God, all 3 songs are going to be about God, but they're going to be different from one another. And I think there's going to be something interesting in that for us to experience. We will also place the baptismal font at the front, and we also have a candle lighting station on the side. So when we come to do communion, we always invite people, if they're comfortable, to remember their baptism, that they belong to God, that they have been birthed into a new life, and also maybe to light a prayer and let the candle lift their prayer to heaven. It's sort of a neat thing we do to get ready to come to the table and to celebrate God's provision and care for us in the elements of this sacrament of communion. There's no one coming to the table this week because of the communion table. Now, normally there's always a conversation partner at the end of our gathering, but on communion weeks, we do the communion table in place of that. So that's what's on tap for the weekend. I think it's going to be a very dynamic Sunday morning together. If you have any questions, please email. We'll help get you set up. Otherwise, I hope to see you Sunday morning.